And now, around the world and around the corner, it's the David Bowers Awards, bringing the best in indie music to millions of listeners worldwide with your host, the David Bowers. We've got a fantastic lineup of guests, as well as our engineer extraordinaire, Nick the Geek, our entire crew here at the Asylum, and me. I'm John Bon Jovial. And now, here's the voice of indie music, the David Bowers.
Well, thank you very much once again, John Bon Jovial, and welcome again all our listeners around the world to another The David Bowers Awards. We've got some great music this week. I want to say hello also to our listeners in Rochester, New York, who listen to us over the services of WRFZ FM 106.3. Rochester Free Radio. And we're going to be talking more about our friends in Rochester in just a couple of minutes. But first, our first song of the week. This is a gentleman that, as a matter of fact, it's going to be on next week's show. Not next work's, but next week's. His name is Aaron Williams. Here he is doing Let Me Love You.
Kids are asleep, it's just you and me and a bottle of wine. It's been so long since we've been alone, so baby, let's take our time.
Aaron Williams is the gentleman's name. Let Me Love You. Aaron will be joining us on our show next week. What'd you think of that one, John Bon Jovial?
I like it. It's a really nice song. It's got a nice country folk type of feel to it that you don't hear a combination like that too often. It's a nice song. I think he's got a good voice. I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, and it does. It has a nice feel to it. We've been getting a lot of Americana of various backgrounds lately, which was neat because we just did that fantastic Americana album last week, and from Americana Kitchen, and I will be announcing now that we will be doing a second show with them because there's so much great music on that album. Americana Kitchen, that was on our last show, and we're going to have this Americana country singer, Aaron Williams, on our next show. Something for you to look forward to. And speaking of looking forward to, I've been looking forward to being able to say something to our listeners in Rochester, New York, especially our friends at WRFZ FM 106.3. And they are going to be the recipients of our first The David Bowers Award of the Week. Oh, thank you so much. Our comb chorus there, ladies and gentlemen. And we are saluting our friends at WRFZ FM 106.3 Rochester Free Radio in Rochester, New York, for carrying the David Bowers Awards. And we're saluting the whole crew who are celebrating their station Christmas gathering this weekend. As a matter of fact, we're recording the show on, it'll be playing, let's put it this way, this show will be playing on Rochester Free Radio Saturday the 8th, and they'll be having their Christmas party Sunday the 9th. So we want to congratulate you, wish you all a Merry Christmas. Regrettably, we can't be there to share my famous Christmas gift dish, but we'll dish up some healthy helpings of some great new indie music for you anyway. And we want to thank you, all our friends at Rochester Free Radio, as well as our listeners, followers, supporters in the Rochester area, including Mary, where'd it go? Mary Perry, there she is. Mary Perry, in Rochester, who underwrites the David Bowers Awards on Rochester Free Radio. We want to thank you as well. And thank you especially to the listeners of Rochester Free Radio. And please, one word, give the gift of your support to the great gang there at Rochester Free Radio. Make a support contribution to them. You can do that via Patreon automatically. Simply go to the Rochester Free Radio website, click on the orange Patreon button, or you can make a one-time donation through PayPal. It's your radio station, which is why they program for you for free. But it's up to each of you to keep them going. Without your help, they can't be there for you. So remember, no donation is too small. Of course, none are too big either. So send whatever you can to help support Rochester Free Radio. And concerned people who support Rochester Free Radio around the world, who support free radio of any type in any city, you can support this way also. Rochester Free Radio. Merry Christmas to all of our friends at Rochester Free Radio and in the Rochester market. John Bon Jovial, I know you have something you'd like to say. Yeah, we mentioned Americana music a few minutes ago, and the only thing that I want to add to that is, on a sad note, speaking of American music, it was 51 years ago this week that we lost Otis Redding in that plane crash, and so truly a sad event, and I haven't heard any mention of it on the media, haven't heard any of the local radio stations or satellite radio stations playing any of his music. Which I think is a shame because the man was an absolute genius. So, yeah, 51 years ago this week, we lost Otis Redding.
Rest in peace, Otis Redding. I know we just passed the anniversary of the death of John Lennon as well.
Yep, a couple of days ago.
They keep adding up. Guess that sooner or later it catches up with all of us. But thank you for that, John Bon Jovial. And looking at the old clock, we've got a couple of minutes there. So before we get to our first guest, talk to us, John Bon Jovial. How are things in Bon Jovial land this week?
Oh, it is a Bon Jovially good time going on here in Southwest Florida. The weather has finally broken, and we are having high temperatures now in the low 70s and into the 50s at night with low humidity. And this is one of the truly good times of the year that it's great to be in Florida. I know you've heard me say it before, but especially, for our friends up in the North Country, it's kind of hard to wrap your head around it, but endless summer does get old. And I know that while people are up there, freezing their rear ends off right now with teen-type temperatures, they're thinking to themselves, screw you, Bon Jovi, I'm freezing my ass off up here. Well, yeah, I get that, but...
keep in mind, everyone, keep in mind, everyone, that both John Bon Jovial and myself are originally from snow country, so
yes, we are.
Feel for you. We understand what you're going through.
We get it.
And, we definitely do.
We get it, but, you have that heat wave where it's 96 degrees for 3 days in a row, and the whole world is coming to an end, and it's the top-selling news story of the day on Channel Thus and such, and I'm thinking to myself, a 3-day heat wave? Yeah, that must really be tough. Try that heat wave for 10 months in a row.
Well, what our temperatures are like from about the end of May to the end of September.
Oh, yes.
And we've been right about where you were. Low 70s, 50s at night. We've had a couple of 40s. I haven't had any 30s locally, but we have had around the state. And as a matter of fact, up in the Grand Canyon area, it's been in the teens at night. But it's quite cooler. And our humidity has been a little higher, actually, which is strange. We've been up in the 60-70% humidity area at a few times, and actually gotten a few sprinkles too. So it's settling down into the local fall to winter cycle in our areas. Although the Midwest, the South Midwest, and Deep South got hammered with a lot of snow yesterday and today.
I've got a friend that lives up in the Raleigh, North Carolina area. He was saying he got a foot of snow at his house, it's not unusual for them to get snow. It's just unusual for them to get that amount of snow.
Oh, yeah, there was one area, I forget which one it was, but I know one area got the equivalent of their entire year's worth of snow out of this one snowfall. That's kind of like us getting a 3-inch rainfall, which is our annual rainfall or something.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
That's a lot if you're not used to it. So, yeah, definitely our hearts and feelings go out to all of you who are suffering from this rather brutal and somewhat early start to winter.
This is Rob Parisi listening to The David Bowers, playing that funky music.
Oh, thank you so much, Rob Parisi. He's been on the show more than once. As a matter of fact, he was one of our earliest followers and guests on the show. Rob and play that funky music, White Boy, and the Wild Cherry, the funky music benefit that he staged in his hometown for the college fund that he created for students at his hometown high school. We salute you, Rob Parisi. I think now it's time to get to our first guest of the week. We have a young lady that you may not have heard of, but you are probably going to hear a lot more from a girl named Skela. There's her first song, Heartbeat and Liquor.
I saw the ship come in. I'll do it again, I'll do it again. I've always been like this. Why you looking at me like it's some kind of surprise? I'm not a musical and I miss the way your tongue tastes. Got me slipping on words, feeling one all over the place. I can't be, I can't